Alright, we are gonna go on a journey here. I want to check out this Eaglehorn Druid build, where you use Eaglehorn in order to summon ravens. Ravens deal plus 500 cold damage, 12% chance to cast level 28 Raven on striking. So the idea is buff a bunch of Raven synergies, which are Spirit Wolf, Direwolf, Grizzly, and you do a bunch of damage with those. So I think right now I have built it too tanky. I need to get more damage through something like this, Cerebus Bite, Steel Rends, Fortitude. You need to wear one of the sets of gloves that gives you melee attack Steel Splash, which is Blood Fist, Hand of Brock, or Steel Rends. But I also have just like insane gear right now, some ridiculous charms in here in order to try to make up for the fact that I don't actually have corruptions on. My Mercenaries of Faith, Templar's Might, stuff she needs to wear that. So I'm not thinking this is a, leveling build. This is that ridiculous Elizabeth Olsen class. It's not I hit level 69, which is the level to use the Eaglehorn. I spent everything I have in order to get one in order to try to play the stupid build. No, that's stupid and dumb. Don't do that. But I think I want to add some more damage, and then also I might want to add extra base points into Raven in order to get that summon additional Raven per cast every 10 base levels, so that I get higher Raven counts. If my Raven count is like below 7, I probably want to do that, as opposed to some of the extra points I put here in shapeshifting. I also need to check out the bear side, but for right now we're going to try it. We're going to see what happens and see what we need to change and how it feels. So let's start here. It feels alright. Doing decent damage as a sealer with all that support. 500 to 3,500 damage is not that much, but oh, it looks like I need Mana Leech. But we're doing okay, so I kind of like it, but I definitely think we can do better. I'm looking at that Raven count. We seem to have been hanging in the 5 to 7, 8 right now range. I'm sure this is one of those ones that like increases based on density. Like Corpse Explosion or whatever gets better. But the other thing to keep an eye on is our summons. I really don't want to have to stop in battle in order to cast them, because I have to swap in order to do it. Or get these guys back, and that's just slow and bad. I don't want to have to do that. So hopefully they stay alive. They're doing an okay job, but anyway, we'll see if we can do better than this. The life is insane right now. 3,500 life with an Oak Sage, so we'll probably swap to Heart of the Wolverine, see how that does. More damage coming up. Alright, I am back with more about the Eaglehorn build. So here's the Crusader Bow breakpoints at 80 IS, which is what I have right now with the 4 shales in it. We're at 5 frames per second on Feral Rage. With Fury at 80, we're at 4.6. So 4.6 not being that much worse than 5 makes me kind of want to just go with Feral Rage all the time instead. I've also got Hodo and Lidless on the alt in order to have better summons. As I said earlier, hopefully the summons don't need to be respawned that often. And we're going to see how this goes with a bit more gear here. We've got Steel Rends for extra damage, Fortitude extra damage, Cerebus Bite. I think the main thing is getting that extra Deadly Strike open wounds out of the Cerebus Bite. So we'll see how this goes. We also have, of course, the Ravens now up at 20. So it should be casting 3 per cast. We'll see how that goes. And see if it's worth doing. So we're up to 9 already. 12, 15. Like, if we can keep this actually up at 15 the whole time, as far as Raven counts, then I really think that this is probably worthwhile. It's the thing, you are a little bit more squishy compared to what we were before. We're only at 1,700 life compared to the 3,500 we had before that also had 40% PDR, whereas we currently only have 12% from the strength. So, it can definitely be a lot more risky where we're at right now, but it does feel like we're doing a lot more damage. Jesus, that is a lot. And, you're nowhere near the kind of tank king that you were before, but this does feel like it's a lot more damage. And, if you're in certain groups that have extra summons where your Heart of the Wolverine's worth a lot, if you're not that worried about dying, you just want to clear as fast as possible, then this can feel pretty good. So I am liking this. I am going to try some Werebear stuff next though, so stay tuned. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're trying this as Werebear, so just 3-point wonder here in these 3 stats. You even get hunger for free from Cerebus Bite. Your summons, Ravens at level 28, which the Eaglehorn summons them at, is doing like 1600 cold, 1100 physical, so about 2700 damage. But you look at what they're at right here at level 40, and they're doing, you know, 3000 cold, 2500, I guess 2500 each if you don't have the Eaglehorn on. And that's like double, just about. So it makes me wonder why you wouldn't just stand back and cast Ravens and not put yourself in the fray to get hurt. But, I mean, of course, this is what we're playing right now. The Eaglehorn at 80 IAS is a 6-frame attack on the Werebear, and once you're at 6 frames, the IAS on the rest of your gear doesn't even matter. You just need to get more on your weapon. So if we were to get to 90, which is 10 more, we would have 5 frames, but that would require either a 5th socket from a slam, or would require an IAS corruption. So that's a little rough. It feels like it would be better because you get the higher uptime, but let's give this a shot here and see how it does. One of the good things about the Werebear definitely is the stun that you get on Maul. So keep an eye on that stun animation above stuff's head, because it's actually hitting a pretty significant amount of things. And then also keep an eye on the Raven uptime. So right now we're at 15, we jumped right up to that. It sometimes has been having lulls where it drops down to something like, you know, this 10, 6, like down into the single digits. So it is a little bit streaky. It's not, unfortunately, like the strafes on that Ballsuit put up the other day where it was up at like 15 Ravens the whole time. So that's unfortunate because we are like investing so much into this, and that's part of why I'm thinking I would love to get the extra 10 IAS to get myself to 5 frames on the attack, because extra attacks is just extra chances to actually summon more Ravens. Fortunately, the weapon is well designed to utilize this on-striking mechanic. It has both ignore target's defense and a bunch of attack rating, so you're like never missing anything, just about. I have 17, 18,000 attack rating too, so you're hitting effectively every attack. But, you know, it's, why am I putting myself up in here? You know, you've seen probably 4 or 5 times already I've gotten chunked to half or so. Fortunately, I have a pretty respectable amount of life leech, 36 with hungers on, so like you can leech up pretty well, even with this kind of mediocre damage, 850 to 5500. But, you know, it feels like it would be not that much better than the summoner, it's just a different playstyle. So I kind of like it. You do want to have allies, if you can, that have things like Amp, because here we sit with this physical immune, cold immune guy. Only thing that's probably really doing damage to it is the Aza there. But that is the only type of enemy you can't kill is physical and cold immunes, or like can't kill efficiently. So because your Ravens actually are doing pretty respectable cold damage, as we talked about. 15 of them times 1600 a shot, you know. But overall, this does feel pretty good. It's like a cool support build. It's just, as we've kind of been talking about, it does require a lot of gear. I think it's definitely better to lean on the summons, and I definitely do like the Werebear here better than the Werewolf, so I'm liking it. I will, see, hey, there it is again. I'm like taking all this damage. Why wouldn't I just stand back and not? I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to come back soon with some final thoughts. Alright, we are back here with some last thoughts on the Eaglehorn build with the Werebear here. I swapped out the string for Dungos just for the extra life because I have so much lifesteal. So that's the thing. I can probably optimize this with some better gear if I just sat down and thought about it a little longer, got some better arrows. So I know this isn't quite the most optimal way to play this. I really like to sit down and theatercraft on it a little bit. This is just kind of like drunken rambling what I'm doing here. But also the Eaglehorn, if you get up to 5 sockets, I said you can get to that 90 IIS, which will give you 5 frames. But if you get to 115, you can actually get it down to 4 frames. So if you slam a 6 socket one of these, you can get there, which would be absolutely insane. But the one other thing is your damage is actually not as bad as I thought, especially because of the supplementary physical damage stats. 27 crushing blows a lot, 43 open wounds is a lot. So like you're doing that a lot, you're hitting that pretty much full uptime. But deadly strike and crit at about 50% from this hunger giving you 49 means you're doing 50% extra damage like 75% of the time. So that's pretty good. Like this number has an extra 40% or so on top of it, 35-40% on top of it. So that's pretty good damage. But I can only build this. It's just going to be silly and expensive. So, man, just find that 6-socket Eaglehorn dream and live it. But that's all I got for now. Thanks.